Alright, so I've just played a bunch of Guilty Gear Xrd REV 2 for the very first time ever in my life. I played pretty much all day. Like, I streamed for 3 hours and a half and then played for another 3 hours. So I want to give an overall point of view, my point of view of what I think with the situation with Guilty Gear Xrd, which is now the name of Guilty Gear 2020, like the official name. So, how to put it? I wanted to try Guilty Gear Xrd just to see what it's about. Like, a lot of people say that it's a difficult game and all, and some people say that it's not even that hard. Like, people are exaggerating and stuff. And I gotta say, man, for someone like me who plays a lot of Tekken, a lot of Tekken, a bit of Soul Calibur from time to time, every now and then. Even though I've kind of quit that game a little bit, but I come back every now and then. But yeah, for someone like that, this game is it's not friendly at all. So for my first time, I would say my very first impression with Guilty Gear Xrd, and people people seem to want the new Guilty Gear to feel a bit more like Xrd. I would say this game is not friendly at all. It's, how can I put it? Like, the best way to describe this game is to say it's a crazy mechanical mess. Wait, no, it's a crazy alien mechanical mess. The game is like, the characters, they're sick. Like, the characters, they do crazy stuff that you probably will never see in other fighting games. And there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of Okizabe situations with every character. For example, I like Jacko. Like, she's like, I think she's my favorite character in the game. Like, she has a lot of good stuff to do, and she's very unique. I think every character in this game is very unique, by the way. But when it comes to the new Guilty Gear, a lot of people say that, oh, they've removed combos, they've removed all these things. But to me, when I see these characters, when I see all the things that they can do, there's no way the combo system being taken away. Like, the combo system is almost irrelevant in my opinion when I look at this game. And not just when I look at it, like when I play it, when I see tournament. Yesterday I was looking at the Arc River finals, and there was this guy Omido, who is a crazy Johnny player. I heard a lot that Johnny is a really controversial character, he's super strong. But just today, this morning, there was this streamer that I kind of see from now on, that I've been watching for a few days now. He was explaining to me what was going on during that tournament. He was analyzing the tournament, and he was explaining what kind of mindset Omido had, and what were the things that he was doing during his matches, and how he was setting his opponent and all. So it was really insane. I was able to understand a few things, and because of that, because he explained to me so well everything that happened during that tournament, I bought the game. Like, it's literally the reason why I bought the game today, because I wanted to see how crazy the mechanics in this game are. Like, a lot of people say that they've taken away the combos in Guilty Gear Xrd and all. Like I say, the combos have, like, if you think that the combos are important, man, you should probably just shut up, because you don't even play the game. It means that you sit in the training mode, and all you do, you sit for 2 or 3 hours, and then you keep playing like this and do all kind of things like that, and you think you're playing the game, but you're not. This game is like, it's a scary game, honestly. And people who manage to play it at high level, they're insane, that's for sure. So the combos, I feel like, being taken out in Guilty Gear Xrd is, it's literally nothing when I look at this, the defense mechanic in this game. So it's a big thing in Guilty Gear. Defensive mechanics are huge thing, and there's a lot of them. You have the Blitz Shield. Wait, is that even the Blitz Shield? I'm not even sure, but yeah, that's it. You have this. You have your faultless defense, and then you have your regular defense. But then in this game, you cannot block in the air. Kind of like Street Fighter, I believe. To me, it's weird. I'm gonna be honest. To me, it's strange. When you see a game like Dragon Ball Fighters, when you see a game like Blaze Blue, even, you can always block in the air. So I've never understood why people were like mad that in Guilty Gear Xrd you can now block in the air. I don't think it's bad. I think it's a good thing. I actually think it's a good thing. It's just like, why would I not be able to block in the air? I just want to block, you know. But aside of that, you have to use your faultless defense to push the other player away, and then when they see they are pushed away, they will use some sort of freaking dragon punch because they predict that you'll be jumping to get out of the corner. It's a lot of things to think about. It's a lot of things that you need to understand when you play the game, and there's so much stuff going on. So because the game is fast paced, because it has all these weird mechanics and all these layers of complexity, there's so much stuff you have to think about that are not combo related at all. So you have to look out for, you have to keep an eye on your meter, you have to keep an eye on the enemy's meter, you have to keep an eye on your risk gauge, you have to keep an eye for opportunities for you to get out of the corner. You have to, like, there's so much, and you have to know on top of that the matchup knowledge, and you also have to read the other player, like you know what type of move they like to use. So there's a lot to do. And when I saw the guy Omido playing his Johnny and all, I was like, man, this guy is like, he's really good. There's no joke about it. Like, he's like next level. He's not even with us. He's not on this planet with us. He lives somewhere else apparently. So he's literally an alien, and that's why he does very well in this alien game. That's why. Like I said, I'm not saying this to diss the game. Like, it's a good game. I can feel it. It's just that there's so much weird stuff. And maybe people say like, oh, it's, you know, that's why we love Guilty Gear and all. And I would say, yeah, that's why, maybe that's part of Guilty Gear if you want. But to me, I don't think it's necessarily part of Guilty Gear. I feel like it's just layers of difficulty that are unnecessary. Like, you can literally simplify all these things, and you still have characters that do crazy stuff. You still have the pressure game that's still there. So I think Guilty Gear Xrd trying to simplify stuff is a good thing, obviously, but I know also that a lot of people are worried that they do too much. They oversimplify the game to the point where it becomes boring, and we don't want that. But something we've seen with Guilty Gear Xrd so far is that the game, like, not many people have been actually paying attention to that. A lot of people were just busy trashing out the game because they removed so much. But from what I've seen, the idea of Guilty Gear Xrd is to focus the characters on what's good, like on what's the good thing they can do. For example, let me take control of Soul here. So for example, there's this tweet that we've seen of Soul spamming his freaking, oh, that's not the move. He was just spamming this move. I think it's called Fafnir. He was just doing this all the way, and it dealt like 50% health, 50% damage, super easy. And on top of that, wall breaks, it's a combo and all. So not just Soul, but also you see a character like Kai. Kai now has this new debuff mechanic, Electrocute, which increases chip damage by a huge amount. Also increases the risk gauge, like he cranks up risk gauge easily, and on top of that it modifies some of his moves, like some moves that he has. For example, his new flying kick in the new game, normally it's not a hard knockdown, but if you have an opponent that is electrocuted, it will become a hard knockdown at that point. So it's a very interesting thing. I feel like the new Guilty Gear is more about knowing what your characters do more and focusing less on having the knowledge of all these insane and weird mechanics that the game has. Like, there's too much there are too many mechanics. That's my point. I think that's my point. There are just too many mechanics going on in this game. But the new Guilty Gear being less based on pressure, be less based on all these crazy defensive mechanics and offensive mechanics, I feel like it's more clean. Now the issue is that the game seems to have no sort of how can I say it? It seems to have no sort of skill ceiling, because every fighting game has some sort of aspect where you have like that you have a challenge and then you have a goal. Generally that's how it is. So you have a goal. For example, I play a lot of Tekken. In Tekken, the goal is to always wall carry the other player. You want the player to be on the wall, and that's how you will deal the most amount of damage. That's how you'll be able to put more pressure, more Kizemi situations. Is the best situation you can have. Like, you want the other player to be at the wall. But the challenge, now there's a lot of challenge in Tekken, because you have to know the matchup, you have to know the to read, you need to have a good read, the good ability to read the other player, and you need to also have really good execution and reaction with your movement and with your moves at the same time, all synchronized. All of that happens in like a fraction of a second, so you really have to deal with that challenge. But overall, Tekken is a very simple, accessible game. Like, anybody can play Tekken, and there's been huge streamers actually who've played Tekken for several hours actually, and they just left because it's not the type of game. They don't want to invest 8 hours per day to get better at this game. Like, they play a lot of Overwatch, they play CSGO, they play all kinds of games like that are not fighting games. They're not fighting games player, but they play Tekken for more than 5 hours, I can tell you that. And it's crazy, but that's because Tekken is super accessible. Like, things are not that hard to do in Tekken. The movement, yes, it's difficult, but eventually you get used to it at some point. And outside of just the movement, there's so much stuff that you can do. There's so much stuff that is easy to do with your character. And the main issue with Tekken is that you have characters that have like 100 moves in their move list, and people don't know how to play the game at all. So that's the only issue that Tekken has. But soon maybe they will be able to fix that with the new patch that's coming in. I mean, the new patch, I mean the new features that they are adding to the game. So the new Guilty Gear, there's no sign of you improving in that game apparently. So I don't know how they will manage to do that. I don't know how they will manage to make it better, but I think definitely we cannot go back to Xrd, because Xrd it's too weird to be played by a bunch of people. It's like, even people who play fighting games in general, they won't get into this game. They won't get into Xrd at all. That's why Xrd, I feel like, I don't know, I don't think, a lot of people say it's because it's an anime game and it's a niche genre, but at the same time, man, there's so many games out there that have an anime feel to them. You see a game like Soul Calibur, you see a game like, even now Street Fighter is feeling a bit anime-ish. Tekken is has become very anime-ish as well. But there are too much, like this Guilty Gear is too much for people to play, and it looks intimidating when you see people play the game. So it's not just a matter of the game when you play it being too hard or anything. It's also that when you look at it, it seems incredibly tough, and that's what I felt when I saw Guilty Gear. So I was like, no, I'm not playing this game. Like, I think a lot of things in the game, it's not even a true combo, but I think a lot of things in this game are really fun. But it's just when it's the character that is doing all kinds of things. But when you have to deal with the mechanics, the defensive mechanics and all that stuff, the movement and all, it becomes less fun in my opinion. But this right now, I love this. And if someone does this to me, I wouldn't mind. I just want to have simple options to I just want to have options to get out of this, because characters are crazy. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on in the screen every time. So at least I would like to have my defensive mechanics being accessible, you know. Like, I just want to press back, or I just want to press like triangle circle for faultless defense and push back stuff, you know. That's it. There's also this weird blitz shield. I don't know what it does. I don't want to bother with that, because what the hell is that mechanic even? Is it even necessary? I've seen that people use it in tournaments, but why would we need this, honestly? And I think the new Guilty Gear, if they really want it to be good, I think they should focus a lot more on character tools. Like, I've seen that they have removed Chip's teleport. He can have it back because there's no combos, because there's less Okizeme situations in the game. They can have more mix-up tools. They can have more tools in general to do more stuff. Like, if Jacko is in that game, I would like her to still be able to do cool stuff like buffing her minions, like exploding them, like removing the houses, like all kinds of things like that. I would like her to be able to do that. I don't want to see these tools being removed. So the Gatling system, a lot of people have been talking about it, and I think the Gatling change is probably the thing that upsets people the most. There was a lot of footage for the new Guilty Gear, like a lot of people got to play Arc Revo. There's a lot of things that happened, and there was this May. Oh my god, she was just I'm actually going to link it in the description. There was this May who was like spamming her dolphin move. She was just spamming that move, and it was enough for her to put insane pressure on the Chip. So he couldn't move, he couldn't get out of it. He tried to jump, she uppercutted him. He tried to block, and she was just cranking that wrist gauge like crazy. He was out of meter every time, and she was just spamming. Like, I think I like that. I think I like it, how the spam is like, because people say it's dumb looking, that it's not stylish at all, but in my opinion, in my mind, I feel like it's good, because it makes the moves so much more how can I say, so much more present. Like, I wouldn't know what Fafnir was if I didn't see that that one tweet. I wouldn't know what it was if I didn't see that tweet. But this move, now I know that it does this. And I've seen that a lot of things that Soul do are good in that game are going to be Fafnir, Bandit Bringer as well, and Bandit Revolver. Those are going to be his best move. I don't know. But also I feel like the new Guilty Gear needs to have a little bit less damage. I like chunky damage, I like it, but I don't like when it's too much, too chunky. Like some moves take like 50%. Like you have Potemkin's command grab, bam, 50%. You're there, it's gone. Or let's not exaggerate, maybe 40%. How about 35%? You know, Soul's Fafnir spam. How about doesn't deal 50%? How about it's like 40, huh? I like the fact that we can now focus more on characters tools in the new Guilty Gear and what's good for them, but they need to add more of this stuff. They need to add more tools that the character had, and if they had to, I've seen they added new moves, but they have to bring back all the older things that characters could do. I think this move for Soul is very iconic. I've seen it in the older Guilty Gears. Kind of weird that they're removing it, to be honest. Especially, like I said, now that the game doesn't have combos anymore, you can just put a bunch of moves that have all kinds of weird parameters to them. Like mix-ups are good because you can have more variety in how players play their character. More tools with mobility stuff like Chip's teleport, because you see in the new Guilty Gear game, I've seen that Chip is probably the only character that has a lot of trouble doing cool stuff. Like his Alpha Blade is cool. He can bounce up in the air. He can bounce on the wall with Alpha Blade actually. So if he goes in this direction, his Alpha Blade would put him back like this. It would push him back. So that's awesome. He can bounce like a crazy, like a ball. It's sick. But he doesn't do anything else other than Alpha Blade. All of his hits never connect. He never does anything else and only has Alpha Blade. So having the teleport would be nice for Chip. At least give him that. So yeah, like I said, they just have to focus more on characters' tools, characters' moves and options. That's really all they have to do, I feel like. But yeah, more character tools, a bit less damage, just a tiny bit less. Wall break damage would be nice. I think that's it. But yeah, I just wanted to really give my opinion on this because I'm really interested in a new Guilty Gear, and people seem to really want it to be back like Guilty Gear Xrd. I don't think it should be like that. I know a lot of people don't agree with that, and a lot of people don't want these games to change too much. Like they don't want that, and it's understandable. Like if they change Tekken to be more casualized, less things that you can do with your characters because they consider it to be too confusing for new players, I would be pissed. But in a game like Guilty Gear, like I said, the combos have, I would say they have close to no impact on how good a player is. Yeah, if you want to be good in Guilty Gear, it's not the combo that make it that make the player. Definitely not. They help for damage for sure, but they are just damage options. They are not what's gonna make the difference. What's going to make the difference is definitely the player's knowledge on the matchup, on the characters, on the mechanics, and that's it. I think in the new Guilty Gear they should re-add some stuff actually. Chip kill. Maybe chip kill can come back, because I've seen people being pissed that the chip damage doesn't kill anymore, and I would say that I'm agreeing with that maybe, because defending in that game is easier anyways. So you want to be able to, might want to be able to kill a player with chip damage. I think for the Gatlings, I think the Gatlings should come back. Maybe. But yeah, the Gatlings should definitely come back. But I think air combo should not. I don't mind the air combos being gone. And that's why Arc System, they're not dumb when they say that they want to make the game more beginner friendly. Like it's the I know a lot of people also say that, oh, it's the one of the last hardcore fighting game. They have all these simplified games and stuff, but at the same time, it's their most iconic game. Does it really deserve to be in the position it's in right now? Like, it's an old game too. Like, why isn't it more popular, you know? Because it's nice and all to be like, oh, you know, fighting games and stuff, we've been playing them for years. I've been playing fighting games for years too, hey. I mean, I might not be as old as some of the people in the fighting game community, but hey, I was there when they had like Soul Calibur 2, I was there when they had Tekken 3, I was there when KOF 2002 was there, so I don't mind fighting games being simplified and all. And I think they should be more accessible in general, because it's a genre of game that has never... They are still super arcadey, and that's also why they don't focus at all on the online, because they're still in the arcadey mindset. They're still in the mindset of back in the days, you know, never evolved ever since then. And I think it's a shame, because fighting games are cool, and they shouldn't be in the position they are in my opinion. That's why I'm happy that Tekken is super popular. That's why I'm happy that Street Fighter, despite being the way it is, despite people hating on it a lot, it seems to have grown quite a bit. And I think if they make a Street Fighter 6, maybe they will think more about how they do things to make new players interested, to make old players interested as well. I think that's how it is. Like, people call this the dark age of fighting games because they all get casualized and all, but the truth is they are getting rebuilt, in my opinion, to fit more with other players' standards, to fit more with other kinds of players, to fit more with also the older players as well. Like, everyone is trying to find a way, and the developers are not dumb, you know. They're not just screwing up the older fan bases out of no reason, you know, just for no reason. So I'm liking the new Guilty Gear. I'm liking a lot, like what I see a lot. I think it's really funny and really ridiculous at the same time, and that's kind of a new identity. Have you ever seen a game where you can just spam like that? Like, have you ever seen a game that where you can just keep doing that? I mean, that's pretty cool. And then you wall break and does so much damage. That's already a sign of something being crazy, you know. It's not Guilty Gear-ish crazy or old Guilty Gear-ish crazy, but it's nothing like any other fighting game. So it's a new identity for Guilty Gear, I feel like, instead of being this alien game that it is currently, that people love, right? For good reasons. But still an alien game that only alien people can play. And I don't like people saying that they play Guilty Gear and all. A lot of people don't. That's a freaking lie. So don't come here and talk to me that like you play Guilty Gear or anything. You sit 4 hours in the freaking training room trying to do weird combos, and then you say you played Guilty Gear. Shut up. You're not playing Guilty Gear. You're just playing a weird combo game, and you're not paying attention to all the mechanics at all. So yeah, man, I'm really spiteful today. Anyways, that's it for this video. Please leave a like, tell me what you think in the comment section. Cool game, really excited to see more about the new Guilty Gear, because there's going to be a lot of demos apparently that will be going on throughout the year of 2020, so we're expecting that, because it seems like Artstation is really trying to reconstruct Guilty Gear, but with the fighting game community at the same time. So we need to be cooperative, we need to be how can I say it? We need to understand where they're coming from, what they're trying to do with this game, instead of just being like refusing change. No change. now. So we should try to be more comprehensive with what they're trying to do, because Arc System, they do good stuff. They've been trying to do good stuff for everyone, and out of respect, we should understand their decisions and see what they're trying to do and see how things can be changed. I mean, if people play fighting games so much, then they should have a bunch of good ideas on how they can make fighting games better in their mechanics, because I know a lot of people also say that it's not the mechanics that's gonna get people into the game. Well, look, you have a game like Guilty Gear Xrd, and it looks freaking damn awesome. There's a lot of anime game, and saying that just because it's an anime game and it has characters that people don't know, that's not really true. Like, it's true, but it's not exactly why the game is not popular. It's not popular because it's a fighting game. First of all, a lot of people have a myth that fighting games are too complicated, and anime games, there's a lot of anime games that come out every freaking year, every single day, with new characters that we've never seen. Literally, you see a game like, let's say, Code Vein, which came out this year, that I covered. Who knows Code Vein? Even God Eater is not that huge. It's not that much of a big deal, but people played Code Vein. People played, even people who never knew of God Eater at all, they played Code Vein. Anime games, a lot of people play them. It doesn't matter which type of anime game it is. It doesn't have to be a Dragon Ball game. It doesn't have to be a Bleach or a Naruto game. It just has to be an anime game, and people would be interested. But when they see something like Guilty Gear, they get scared. I get scared. I'm an anime fan, kind of, and I like fighting games as well, but even I get scared by this game. Like, it's insane how it is. So you know, they should just try to normalize things a little bit, I feel like, and that's going to be fine. So yeah, I've been rambling a lot. I'm out. See ya.